So, three-pronged, inspired by the Holy Trinity. I think, has devolution on overall worked? I think there are gains and there are major losses or major misses. I think we know there's much greater consciousness about how government works or doesn't work. Some services which we were never used to reach the grassroots there, even during the district focus for rural development, etc. So I think there are some things which are services which are being delivered, but we must see devolution in its totality. Not just that there is now some dispensary when you used to have to travel to provincial or national headquarters. We must see it in the sense of what was intended as the core values, core objects, core principles. And on the whole, if we measure that against the amount of money that we have expended as a country, if you measure exactly, then we are underperforming. Devolution is grossly underperforming. And with the acknowledged corruption of at least 30% of those budgets are basically, or you can also compare recurrent versus development. If you compare most of those parameters, devolution is underperforming, grossly underperforming. That's why it's true, it calls for re-evaluation of actually even the objects and the principles that we wrote in 2010. Because we also know in terms of design of devolution and even design of the national executive, president, etc., whether it was going to be parliamentary or presidential system of government, that was a last-minute Naivasha compromise. Both of those issues of devolution, especially in terms of number of units, and whether presidential or parliamentary, were a last-minute Naivasha compromise, and therefore it may not be very. So, lastly, I think thirdly is that then we need to rethink reform. We need to rethink this. Some of the issues are that, in my view, I'm very clear in my mind that based on what we have learned since 2010, but also here, is that we need to 14 to 16. I think the people can discuss further. The people shall discuss. The number could be 14 to 16. I think 47 as governance units. No, it's extravagant. This should not be legislative units. So the idea is that you have 14 to 16 or something like that, a smaller number of legislative governance units. Then you have number 2, administrative units. I have no problem with 47 because I'm also aware that during the BBI there was a lot of public participation that showed that people were also attached to their counties, if just by names and their geographical boundaries. So 47, I have no problem with them being administrative units. Then you have maybe at a lower level or even at that level. I have not decided that this is the people shall, whether we should have 3 levels or 2 levels. I think the people shall.
Thank you, Prof.
So I think should governors be elected? Governors, if they are to be to the level of law-making, policy-making, election is the best. CEO is a misnomer in the Constitution. I don't know where that came from. That is normally private sector issues with a lot of powers. So finally, I think because these issues are about human beings, there's something that we have really not talked about also. Apart from how to integrate also NGCDF, so that forever there should be clear constitutional language, so that and I'm agreed with the Supreme Court, NGCDF should not be a fund to be run by people who should be legislating, representing, and oversighting.
We'll call you for an NGCDF commission.
So let's deal with the gender issue, the nepotism clan issues in our counties, and the tribe issue. Because today, tribes or clans are opposed to each other. Tomorrow they may work together. So we must work towards integration and greater.
We've got to end it there. Thank you very much, Prof. Sharon.